G'day folks, welcome back to Pete's Investing. It's March 28, 2024. This is the technical analysis for the SP500, the NASDAQ, the GermanDax and the Japanese Nikkei. Now they're all moving pretty much sideways since yesterday's review, except the GermanDax. I tell you what, that's really relentless and moving upwards more and more. This is the trend table. So you can see there, I've got all the other instruments to reference for yourself, including some FOREX pairs. But looking at the currencies at the bottom, the indices at the bottom, the US 500, the GermanDax, the Japanese Nikkei, and the NASDAQ. They're all still bullish predominantly, although there are a couple of neutral trend channels happening at the moment. But as I said, they've all pretty much been stagnant overnight, with the exception of the GermanDax. So let's get into it. We'll first look at the US market, the SP 500. So on the daily, the ADX 25 is still bullish. The CCI 150, which is our trend indicator, but also our divergence indicator, that's still getting slight lower lows and a bit of a downturn with higher highs on the share price. Now you'll notice it hit this resistance up here at 52.61 and not much change has happened since yesterday. On the hourly chart, first we'll just zoom out. You can see there that's the stochastic market forecast indicator. That's very much overbought in the last, for the last few months at least. And if I zoom in now, the ADX 25 is still somewhat bullish on the 1 hour time frame. And on the CCI 150, you can see there, we did have a bearish divergence from those lower highs on the CCI versus higher highs on the price. And the price fell off, hit our target, and actually it's gone sideways and made a bit of a bounce since yesterday, but not much change really. Next, we're going to look at the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ got a similar pattern to the S&P, bullish on the ADX 25. The CCI 150 on the daily is bearish with higher highs on the price. Hit this resistance at 18,465 and yet to make any significant downturn. On the hourly, again zooming out, you can see there it's still in the overbought territory on the stochastic market forecast indicator. And if we zoom in, the CCI 150 has had a few bearish divergence. There was one back here. You can see there lower highs on the CCI versus higher highs on the price. Pulled back, hit our target, and then we had another. That was probably not really a very slight bearish divergence there versus higher highs on the price. But you can see now it's actually trending in line with the price. The CCI is dropping off, and so is the price. Next, we look at Japanese Nikkei. And eventually, on the daily chart, first off, back here, we've got the ADX 25 is bullish. The CCI 150, similar pattern to the US markets. It's showing a bearish divergence versus the price. Hit this resistance at 41,163. On the hourly chart, still pretty much in the overbought territory after it made a bit of a relapse to the downside. You can see there, and then it's recovered back up there and it's hitting this resistance, as I said. And plus we had a few, if I zoom in, we've had a few bearish divergence on the CCI. Another one there, and the latest one was just that one there, lower highs on the CCI versus higher highs on the price, and it pulled back, hit our target. But again, you'll notice overnight it's actually made very little movement up or down. It's pretty much gone sideways. Had a bit of a gap down there overnight, but otherwise it's pretty much in that little channel there. And lastly, looking at the resistance fighter, the GermanDax. This thing keeps moving higher. Now that previously had up until where that trend line finished, that was previously the resistance, and it's actually broken through that. And you can see there, I've drawn that Fibonacci retracement up to that point. That's where the resistance was, and it's actually broken through that, so that resistance is no longer valid. The CCI 150 is still bearish divergence versus the price, so we're still expecting it to break to the downside at some point. I'll just have to remove these Fibonacci's to redraw them. But basically we had another bearish divergence and still have a bearish divergence on the 1 hour chart as well. Notice the ADX on both the daily and the hourly are bullish, so no real sign yet of a pullback. And if I zoom out, you can see there the stochastic market forecast is still very much in the overbought territory, and no sign yet of a drop. So overall, basically, the market is still going pretty strongly. No sign yet of a weakness apart from these bearish divergence that they're all showing at the moment. To support us more, go to the Patreon page for Pete's Investing, where we also do weekly scans of blue chip shares that are trending along on a longer and medium term timeframes. Feel free to support us there, and we'll see you in a future video.